Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're venturing into a really imaginative realm, the Abaka Alignment conspiracy theory. We've gathered some pretty fascinating material that explores this idea, this kind of hidden connection linking, ancient civilizations, cosmic events, and maybe some potent unseen force.
Right. It pulls together a lot of different threads, you know?
It really does.
Yeah.
So in essence, this theory, which you find mostly in certain like esoteric circles and online communities, it proposes a recurring alignment. Specific stars, planets.
Yeah, specific celestial bodies.
Aligning with particular locations and structures right here on Earth.
Yeah.
And the core claim, well, it's that this alignment is believed to unlock some form of energy or maybe secret knowledge.
From a lost, supposedly super advanced civilization, the Abaka.
Exactly, the Abaka. Okay, so let's start to unpack this a bit.
Well, what's fascinating right off the bat is how it weaves together so many disparate elements. You've got ancient history, astronomy, mythology, even a bit of the paranormal, you could say.
Definitely. It constructs this grand narrative, doesn't it? Trying to answer some of those big mysteries about our past.
And maybe even give a glimpse into the future, according to some proponents. It's ambitious stuff.
Absolutely. So let's break down the core concepts. First, you mentioned the Abaka themselves.
Right. The idea is this civilization predates, well, pretty much all known recorded history. And they weren't just, building huts. We're talking advanced.
How advanced?
Like a deep understanding of astronomy, complex physics, even the nature of consciousness itself. Really profound knowledge.
Okay, so that's the Abaka. Then there's the alignment piece. It's not just any stars lining up, is it?
No, it's supposed to be a very precise configuration. Specific planets, maybe certain stars. Some theories even throw in hypothetical cosmic entities we don't even know about.
Wow, okay. And this cosmic arrangement, it's not just pretty to look at. It supposedly has a direct effect on Earth.
That's the idea of terrestrial resonance. The alignment somehow resonates with specific spots on Earth, ancient sites, maybe landly lines.
Amplifying energy or activating something hidden there.
Exactly. That's the core mechanism proposed. And it taps into that older idea, doesn't it, of a lost golden age. Wisdom we've forgotten.
Yeah, the Abaka fit that archetype perfectly.
Yeah.
And the whole as above, so below thing, celestial events influencing Earth. That's ancient.
Deeply embedded in things like astrology, early cosmology. It's a recurring theme in human thought.
Right. And this alignment, it's not a one-off event in this theory.
No, that's crucial. It's seen as cyclical, a recurring pattern, like a giant cosmic clock.
And each time it happens, boom, big changes.
Potentially, yeah. Significant shifts in history, maybe leaps in human consciousness, or even upheaval. It depends on the specific interpretation.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. The alleged history behind it all. How did this knowledge supposedly survive?
Well, the theory goes that the Abaka didn't just disappear without a trace. They intentionally encoded this knowledge.
Encoded it? How?
Into architecture, for one. Think pyramids, megalithic structures. Also into sacred sites, their locations, their designs, and even woven into myths and legends passed down orally.
So these ancient myths might not just be stories, but contain hidden clues about the alignment.
That's the claim, that they're like time capsules of Abaka wisdom designed to resonate or be understood when the alignment occurs again.
So we're talking about a potential global network. Like, ancient structures weren't isolated, they were part of a system.
Precisely. Key sites, the pyramids of Giza, Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, you name it, are often cited. Even concepts like Liley lines are brought in.
All potentially built or chosen to harness the alignment's energy?
Or to market or to preserve the knowledge of it. The interpretation varies, but yeah, a global network is a common theme.
What sort of connections do they point to between these places? Geographically distant places?
Often it involves interpretations of their precise geographical placement, latitude, longitude. Also, their orientation towards specific risings or settings of stars or the sun, solstices, equinoxes.
The kinds of alignments archaeologists do sometimes find.
Right, but here it's interpreted as part of this larger Abak-related cosmic scheme. They also point to recurring geometric patterns, sacred geometry found across sites, suggesting a unified blueprint.
And this knowledge, it wasn't just left carved in stone, hoping someone finds it.
The theory usually includes the idea of transmission, that this wisdom was passed down secretly.
Wow.
Through hidden channels. Think secret societies, mystery schools, maybe certain families or esoteric traditions, keeping the flame alive, so to speak, across millennia.
Waiting for the right time for it to reemerge.
Exactly, waiting for the next alignment, perhaps, when the knowledge would be needed or could be understood again.
And this isn't just about like ancient history, is it? Does the theory connect to more recent events, too?
Sometimes, yes. Proponents might link major historical turning points. The rise and fall of empires, bursts of innovation, major cultural shifts to previous occurrences of the Abaka Alignment.
So it adds this kind of grand cosmic driver behind human history.
It attempts to, yeah. It reframes history through this cyclical celestial lens.
Okay, so we have this picture. Hidden Abaka legacy, encoded in sites, passed down secretly, potentially influencing history. What about the evidence? What do proponents actually point to?
Well, as we touch on, astronomical alignments are a big one.
Like Stonehenge and the solstice sun.
Exactly, or pyramid shafts pointing to certain stars. These are interpreted not just as calendars or practical observation tools, but as proof of this deeper, inherited Abaka knowledge of cosmic cycles.
But isn't there a danger of just finding patterns after the fact?
Yeah.
Cherry-picking alignments that fit.
Absolutely. That's a major criticism from mainstream archaeology and astronomy. While some alignments are undeniable and likely intentional for practical or symbolic reasons, attributing all of them, especially left precise ones, to a lost super civilization requires a big leap. The line between evidence and interpretation gets very blurry.
Okay, so alignments are one pillar. What else?
Mythological parallels. The theory often highlights similarities in myths from cultures that supposedly had no contact.
Like what? Flood myths, creation stories.
Yeah, great flood legends are common examples. Shared cosmological ideas, tales of civilizing heroes bringing knowledge, gods from the sky. These are seen as echoes of a common source.
The Abaka source.
That's the interpretation. Again, the counter-argument is that these could arise from common human experiences, psychological archetypes, or even later cultural diffusion, not necessarily a single lost civilization.
Right. You can see how similar challenges might arise when trying to explain the world. What else is cited as evidence?
Geometric patterns. This idea of sacred geometry.
Like a golden ratio, 5-5, things like that.
Exactly. Proponents find these ratios and specific geometric forms recurring in ancient art, architecture, site layouts, and they argue these encode fundamental truths about the universe linked back to the Abaka and the alignment.
Then there's the more fringe stuff, right? Energy fields?
Yeah, that comes up a lot. Claims of unusual energy fields or strange anomalies at these key sites, people reporting feeling different, equipment malfunctioning.
That sounds hard to verify scientifically.
Extremely. Reports are often subjective, anecdotal. While some sites might have unusual magnetic fields or other measurable properties, linking them definitively to an ancient cosmic alignment is, well, it's not something standard science supports. It's more experiential evidence for believers.
And finally, prophecies.
Right. Interpretations of ancient prophetic texts or obscure esoteric writings. Passages that seem to hint at a future awakening, a cosmic shift tied to celestial events.
Like the Maya calendar stuff, or Nostradamus, or biblical prophecy.
Those kinds of sources, yeah. Supporters will read these through the lens of the Abaka alignment, seeing confirmation of the theory in ambiguous verses. But prophecy interpretation is notoriously flexible, isn't it?
Totally. You can often make it fit what you want it to fit. Okay, so that's the alleged evidence. How is this alignment actually supposed to work? What are the mechanics?
Well, there are a few common ideas. One is energy resonance.
Resonance. Like a vibration.
Kind of. The idea is the specific celestial alignment creates a unique energy field. Or maybe focuses cosmic energy that then resonates with Earth's own electromagnetic field.
Or maybe other more subtle energies that science doesn't currently recognize.
Exactly, like chi or prana or orgone terms from various alternative traditions. The alignment supposedly activates or amplifies these energies at the key terrestrial sites.
Okay. What else? Any other proposed mechanisms?
Another more sci-fi sounding idea is that the alignment opens temporary dimensional portals.
Whoa, okay. Portals to where?
Other dimensions, maybe other points in space-time, maybe it allows access to some kind of information field like the Akashic records. It's pretty speculative.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it. A way to transfer knowledge or energy across dimensions.
That's the implication. A direct link facilitated by the cosmic geometry of the alignment.
And what about the impact on us? On humans?
That's maybe the most appealing part for many, the idea of consciousness activation.
So the alignment directly affects our minds.
It's proposed that it could trigger shifts in human consciousness on a mass scale. Maybe unlocking dormant abilities, psychic powers, intuition, or leading to a collective spiritual awakening, a greater understanding of reality.
How would that work? Is it the energy field affecting our brains?
Theories vary. Some link it back to the Earth's electromagnetic field, suggesting changes in that field affect our brainwaves. Others propose a more direct, maybe informational or energetic transfer from the cosmos during the alignment. It's abstract.
Abstract is a good word. So what's the point of all this? What's the alleged end game or purpose behind the Abaka alignment?
Well, there are several possibilities floated. A big one is spiritual enlightenment.
Like ushering in a new age of peace and understanding, the age of Aquarius kind of thing?
Pretty much, yeah. A mass awakening, humanity moving to a higher vibrational state, that sort of thing.
Okay, what else? More tangible outcomes.
Some theories focus on technological advancement. The idea that the alignment could grant us access to lost Abaka knowledge, maybe advanced energy sources, propulsion, healing techniques.
A sudden leap forward for civilization, thanks to rediscovering this ancient wisdom.
Right. Or maybe it's about the planet itself. Planetary transformation.
Changing the Earth, physically.
Could be physical shifts or maybe more energetic ones. Cleansing the planet, shifting its frequency, preparing it for a new phase. Again, very New Age adjacent concepts often appear here.
It all sounds very positive, mostly.
Yeah.
Are there darker interpretations? Any potential downsides?
Oh yeah. Some versions of the theory include potential risks. The alignment might be a destructive force if not properly understood or handled.
Like opening Pandora's box.
Kind of. Or maybe it could attract unwanted attention, negative entities, hostile extraterrestrials drawn by the energy surge. Some interpretations definitely paint it as a potentially dangerous event, not just a beneficial one. Adds a bit of cosmic drama.
Right, introduces an element of threat. Okay, this naturally leads us to the big reality check. The challenges and counter-arguments.
And there are significant ones, critically important to address.
Top of the list has to be the lack of actual proof for the Abaka.
Absolutely. The fundamental problem is there's just no concrete, unambiguous archaeological evidence for a global, super advanced civilization predating known history like the Abaka are described.
We have amazing ancient sites, yes, but nothing that screams lost super tech in a way that convinces mainstream archaeology.
Exactly. Lots of mysteries, lots of incredible achievements by ancient peoples, but nothing that requires invoking a hypothetical lost civilization like the Abaka to explain it.
And the alignments we talked about.
Many can be explained by simpler, more practical reasons. Ancient people were skilled astronomers. They needed calendars. They needed to track seasons for agriculture. They incorporated celestial symbolism into their religion and architecture.
So aligning a temple with the solstice sunrise doesn't automatically mean they were tapping into cosmic Abaka energy.
Precisely. It could just mean they knew when the solstice was and it was important to them culturally or religiously. The interpretation layer added by the Abaka theory isn't supported by evidence.
What about the myths and prophecies?
Highly subjective. Myths evolve, borrow from each other, and often deal with universal human themes. Finding parallels doesn't prove a single origin. And prophecies, as we said, are notoriously open to interpretation after the fact.
You can make the data fit the theory if you look hard enough.
That's the risk of confirmation bias. And scientifically speaking,
Yeah, the mechanisms propose the specific energy fields, dimensional portals.
they just don't align with our current understanding of physics. There's no scientific model or evidence that supports these kinds of phenomena being triggered by planetary alignments. Mainstream science remains highly skeptical, to say the least.
So it really highlights that gap between speculative ideas and testable evidence-based science.
Definitely, they operate with different rules, different standards of proof.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. To summarize our deep dive into the Abaka alignment theory, we've seen its core ideas. This lost, super advanced Abaka civilization.
This recurring celestial alignment involving specific stars and planets.
The idea that this alignment resonates with specific places on Earth, ancient sites, maybe layer lines.
And that this is all part of a cycle unlocking energy or knowledge and potentially causing big shifts in history or consciousness.
We also looked at the kinds of evidence proponents use the astronomical alignments in ancient structures.
Parallels and myths across different cultures, claims about sacred geometry.
Reports of strange energy anomalies at certain sites, and interpretations of prophetic texts.
And we discussed the ways it's supposed to work: energy resonance, maybe dimensional portals opening up, or direct activation of human potential and consciousness.
Plus the potential outcomes or motives, ranging from a golden age of enlightenment or new tech.
All the way to planetary transformation or even existential risk.
But, and this is the crucial takeaway, we have to emphasize the highly speculative nature of all this.
Absolutely. There's currently a lack of verifiable empirical support for the core claims of the theory. It's captivating, it's imaginative.
It weaves together so many fascinating threads: history, astronomy, mythology, the unexplained.
But it does remain firmly in the realm of conjecture, not established fact.
What this theory really does well, though, is tap into something deep in us, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. It speaks volumes about our enduring human fascination with the mysteries of the past. Where did we come from? Were there others before us?
And our place in the cosmos, too. Are we connected to the stars in some deeper way? Is there a hidden meaning or pattern to it all?
Exactly, that innate desire to find connections, to believe there's more to reality, more to our history than what's immediately apparent or scientifically proven so far.
These kinds of theories, even if they lack proof, really highlight that blurry line, the line between science, mythology, speculation.
And how we use all of those modes of thinking in our ongoing quest to understand ourselves and the universe.
It makes you think, doesn't it? About the limits of what we know right now, and the power of imagination to explore what might be.
Indeed. Maybe the most interesting thing isn't whether the Abaka alignment is literally true, but what the idea of it reveals about us, our hopes for transformation, our fears of the unknown, and the grand stories we tell ourselves to make sense of it all.
Definitely food for thought. Well, thanks for joining us on this fascinating, if speculative, deep dive.
Always a pleasure to explore these ideas.
Until our next exploration.